Something still bothering you, Carol? Look, why don't we start by filling out a steward's fact sheet? Do you have a few more minutes?
Yeah, I guess, but my break's almost over.
Okay, then let me take down some basic information and we can fill in the missing details later. I'll also need some documents that you should have. Here's the steward's fact sheet. Now, this form ensures that I've covered all the basics. Overlooking something could weaken our case. You know, I've even heard of grievances being lost because of sloppy paperwork. Do you have your PSAC card with you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let me get your information down in here. I'll also need your address and contact information. Remember to let the union know if that changes, okay? Thank you.
It seems that you're going to need a lot of information.
Yep. Grievances have been lost because not enough attention was given to details. When we file your grievance, I'll be representing you at the hearing, so it's important that I'm well prepared, and that's why we need to go over all the facts.
So when will I know if we're filing a grievance?
Well, I'll compile the facts now and get the chief shop steward's opinion. Then I'll get back to you.
And do I have to go with you to a hearing?
If we get to the hearing stage, I'll be the main spokesperson, but it's important that you attend and listen to what I'll be saying and what the employer representative will be saying. I will be asking you for your input during the hearing, especially when we need to clarify an issue. I'll be asking you to talk only about facts that you already have a knowledge of, like the time you started work and the time you finished and the time it took you to travel home. You know, that kind of stuff. And if you feel that something is not quite right during the hearing, we can always recess and discuss your concerns.
You know, it sounds like a pretty formal process. I don't know about this. I really don't want to be in a position where I have to handle a stressful situation.
Carol, you're not going to be alone in this. The union and I will be with you every step of the way.
Okay, but well, it's just that since I've been back from sick leave, my manager hasn't been as friendly as he used to be. I mean, he used to stop by my desk and chat all the time. Now he walks right by, he doesn't even look at me. And I mean, he's still talking to other people in the office. It's like he's upset because I was gone on sick leave for so long, and I'm sure he's worried that I can't handle the stress on the job.
It sounds like you're having a really tough time since you've come back. I wonder if your boss's attitude has anything to do with their decision not to pay you overtime.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm making a note of this. We'll have to think about it some more. But let's get back to the grievance process. I want to make sure you're comfortable with it and you understand what you'll need throughout the whole thing.
Okay.
And I assure you, someone will always be with you throughout the process. And if you start to feel stressed and anxious, make sure you let me know, okay? So, let's talk about the grievance now. It'll help you better understand what's involved. Now, details are important, and being very systematic in our approach at this level will make the job easier for those handling the grievance if it goes to the final level.
Oh, you don't handle that job?
No. As your shop steward, I do the preliminary work with management at this level. If we need to send the grievance to the highest level, a union staff person will take care of the file. That's why I make sure I have it well documented now while all the information is still fresh in everyone's memory, including possible witnesses. It also saves time and energy in not having to redo work that I should have done in the first place.
Okay, yeah. I'm beginning to understand.
Okay, let's get back to the form. Now, you said you were asked to work at the satellite office from February 20th to 24th. But what was the date of the actual request from management? And it was via email, right?
Right. It was the week before, but I'm not sure of the exact date. I can get you a copy of the email, though.
Perfect. We'll need that for sure as evidence. And on that note, also a copy of your overtime request and a copy of the rejection letter.
Great, no problem.
Out of curiosity, did you submit mileage reimbursement claims?
No.
Well, I'd suggest you do that. And if that's denied, we'll make it part of the grievance. You let me know how that goes.
Okay, sure, I guess you're right. I mean, they should compensate me for the use of my car.
Well, yeah, and that's definitely covered in the collective agreement. So, back to your overtime. You submitted your claim on what date?
Oh, I'm not sure, but it'll be on the form that I get to you.
Great. And we'll get the date off your notice of rejection. Now, did the employer ever indicate if they would pay you for travel and overtime during this special work arrangement?
Well, we never specifically talked about return time, but I assumed, I mean, given the volume of work at the satellite office, that I'd be working till the end of the day. And I mean, I told Cheryl, my supervisor, that I could stay until 4:30, but then I had to leave because of family commitments, and well, she was fine with that.
Well, make sure you print those emails and give me copies. They'll be really important for your case. Your break must be almost over, and I also need to get back to my desk. I think you have really good grounds for a grievance here. The only thing the employer might dispute is the time you left the satellite office to go home, but your email exchanges with your supervisor should help us with that. So I'm going to write up the draft of our grievance and run the language past our chief shop steward, and then I'll get back to you. And we really need to have the documents that you have. You may want to write these down.
Okay.
We'll need copies of the initial request from management for your work in the satellite office, your request for overtime pay, the rejection letter, and any emails between you and your supervisor where you indicate that you'd be working only until 4:30 due to family commitments. Is there anything else you think would be helpful? Oh, and by the way, Carol, if you can find out if anyone else has been paid overtime from travel when working from the satellite office, it would be really helpful to our case.
Great. I'll get all these documents to you, and I'll check around to see if anybody else has been paid overtime.
Okay, great. So let's meet again tomorrow at the union office, same time, so that I can get those copies, and I'll show you then how I think your grievance should be written up.
Okay.
You can forward the copies of the emails to me electronically, but bring me hard copies too, okay?
Okay.
Great.
All right. Sounds good.
Good.